All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
The world is being faced with a serious issue of global climate change due to the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is a naturally occurring process in the Earth's atmosphere that warms the planet. Without the greenhouse effect, on average, the Earth's surface would be about 60 degrees colder. The greenhouse effect occurs when visible light from the sun passes through the atmosphere and is absorbed by the Earth's surface. Some of that energy is then sent back to the atmosphere as heat. However, greenhouse gases trap that heat, which would otherwise be released into space, raising the temperature of the atmosphere and the Earth's surface. Increases in the amount of greenhouse gases due to human activities intensify the heat trapped by the atmosphere, and as a result, cause global warming and climate change. Consequently, human behaviors including industrial processes, fossil fuel combustion, and deforestation cause emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. These emissions can be blamed for the increasingly warmer temperatures. People enhance the greenhouse effect primarily by burning fossil fuels like oil, coal, and natural gas. These fuels are stored carbon formed millions of years ago from organic matter. When they are burned, that carbon returns to the atmosphere in the form of carbon dioxide, which is the biggest contributor to the enhanced greenhouse gas effect. Each year, fossil fuels adds an estimated 5.5 gigatons of carbon to the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide are released into the atmosphere through natural and human processes, while CFCs and other non-organic chemicals only occur as a result of industrial processes. According to Gelbspan, CFCs were discovered to cause holes in the ozone layer, and therefore they were banned from use with the Montreal Protocol. The effect of CFCs proves that people's actions are resulting in global climate change, and continuation of these human activities will cause additional warming throughout the 21st century. Although some people continue to ignore the severity of this problem, it will bring serious consequences if the plans of preventions are not taken into action. The problem with global warming is that it will cause additional sea level rise that will gradually inundate coastal areas, change in precipitation patterns, increased risk of droughts and floods, and threat to biodiversity. A recent study by the National Wildlife Federation found that a 1 to 2 foot rise in sea levels would greatly alter the coast of Virginia. Thousands of acres of dry land would be submerged or replaced by salt marshes. To protect ourselves and the globe from harmful consequences of climate change, we must dramatically reduce emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. To do this, we have to change the way we function and run our global economy. We need to avoid the use of unrestrained fossil fuels and take up more efficient and renewable source of energy. Instead of each family owning an SUV, maybe a hybrid or a rechargeable electrical car. Some people still believe, however, that the human actions have had no effect on global climate. They state that the temperature rise over the last 150 years is a result of global temperature cycles and that the Earth is coming out of a cooling cycle. According to Carlisle, this could be true, but the temperature increase also happens to coincide with the release of massive amounts of carbon in the atmosphere. Internationally, the latest effort to address the greenhouse effect is the Kyoto Protocol. The Kyoto Protocol is a contract between the industrialized nations of the world promising to cut down on the emissions of greenhouse gases over a period of time. Over 170 nations signed the contract, including the European Union, Canada, and Japan. A criticism of the Kyoto Protocol is that it holds restrictions against developed nations and not against developing countries. Former President Bush had a different opinion than the Kyoto Protocol. In March, President Bush announced that the U.S. would no longer be involved in the Kyoto Protocol, and they withdrew and stated that emissions cut downs is a major reason why they withdrew. Although former President Bush does not agree with the protocol, fortunately current President Barack Obama believes that the global warming is a severe problem and that the actions Bush had taken were not sufficient. He believes that the people will not voluntarily change their habits and laws must be created to change the amount of further emissions. Hopefully the United States will come to the realization of the severity of global warming before it is too late. What is done in the near future to combat global warming will greatly affect future generations.